unless you're like a proper big wave surfer and you're surfing super gnarly big waves, you're not going to experience a breath hold or a hold down of longer than 15 to 20 seconds. That's long. So if you guys like take a big breath in now, you'd easily be able to hold your breath for 20 seconds. But it's a different story when you're being absolutely beaten and pummeled around and feels like there's a train that's just smashing you and you're panicking. So as soon as you start panicking, what happens is your heart rate increases. As soon as your heart rate increases, your oxygen consumption rate increases. So you use up all the oxygen that you do have in your body, and then panic is what will kill you.
Welcome back to the Living Banter Podcast. I hope you guys are super good. We're about to have the greatest time ahead of us. Today, we have the most sustainably stoked surfer out there. This incredible guy. The founder of Surf.4.Earth. All-round great guy. Daniel, Patrick. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, thanks so much for that awesome intro, Caden. Yeah, I'm doing good.
Got it.
Good to see you guys and to connect with you. And super stoked to be on the Living Banter Podcast. Good time.
Let's go.
Really is
Thanks.
awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's jump straight into some stuff. So where did you actually come up with this whole idea of the eco boards and all that?
Eco board, so I can't claim that as mine, unfortunately, but I am currently making some of the most eco-friendly or eco-conscious epoxy surfboards in South Africa at the moment, which is on the African continent actually, which is pretty epic.
Wow.
So there's quite a few shapers that are making them, but mine are just slightly more eco-conscious with regards to the materials that we use, and then also the program that I've got that I give back to surf outreach programs and conservation initiatives as well for every purchase of a board. And the reason it started, or why I started Surf.4.Earth, was I've got a history in nature conservation. So I studied nature conservation after school, and then I went to work on a private nature reserve and basically headed up a anti-poaching squad for rhino. So running around being a personal bodyguard for rhino. And that was pretty epic. I mean, for 2 years, I spent more time with rhino than I did with people.
Yes.
So it was quite a crazy world. And I was in my early 20s. So most of my friends were down in Cape Town and Stellenbosch area studying. And I was running around with a pump action shotgun protecting rhino the whole day. So that was a high stress environment.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Which was very rewarding. But the stress environment just got to me a little bit, and I thought, no, I might as well go enjoy myself with my friends while they're studying. And I moved down the coast, and then I'd been a surfer before, but it wasn't fully hooked. And then when I moved down the coast, got so hooked into surfing, and then all I was doing was surfing. And my passion and my driving purpose is nature conservation and sustainable living. And all I was doing was surfing, so I thought I can't just surf the whole time. I need to somehow give back and carry on with my purpose. So I kind of brought my passion for surfing and merged it with my passion for conservation and preserving nature. And Surf.4.Earth was born.
Oh, nice.
Brilliant.
Really is it really is a story, I have to admit.
That's incredible. What a story. But why do you think it's important to live sustainably? What did you say?
Yeah, so we've got, I read a study the other day with some of the world's top scientists, and they said if we carry on at this rate that we're going of with regards to our consumption of the world's resources and the way in which we're mining and taking fish out the ocean and cutting down trees, we're using roughly 3 to 4 times the amount of resources that we have allocated to us a year. We're using that in the first third of the year. So if we carry on at that level or at that rate, that humanity as a species, Earth will only be habitable for the human species for another 100 years or so. I mean, that's pretty screwed up. I mean, that means your great-grandchildren aren't going to have an Earth to live on. So I think that's like a big kick in the back of the head saying you've got to be sustainable for health. There's no future for your children and their children. Well, there might be a future, but it won't be the beautiful green outdoors that we have, the fresh air and the beautiful water, and so that's what I want to conserve and preserve for future generations of frothers like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like you
It's
can just
crazy.
move to Mars, you know? It's like a
Yeah.
freaking expensive trip, you know?
I mean,
Anyways,
we're discussing
Yeah, that's a select for you.
Yeah.
NASA and Elon Musk and all these guys are putting so much money into sending these spaceships up and into like space travel and things like that, and we've got so many things on Earth that we could better put that money into and
So true.
Yeah, that is
to
true.
sustain the planet that we live on, as opposed to going to look for life on other planets or set up another home somewhere else. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Mental.
really
Like
true.
they're spending millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars.
Billions.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
It's crazy.
But, yeah,
I mean,
we've got
yeah.
to just like small daily changes to make a difference in whichever way you can, and then all those individual differences add up, and then that's how we're going to create a sustainable future.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah.
Alright. But you've been on many surf trips, I'm sure, and a big one that stands out that you told me about when we met the first time was your surf trip to Indonesia. But I saw you also went to California, so how was that trip for you?
Yeah, the first time I went to Indonesia was 2016, I think, so not too long ago. But I got hooked from the first second that we were there. Like, it's such a beautiful country if you haven't been. And I mean, one country, Indonesia, is 17,000 islands, so it's just crazy diversity.
What?
Yeah,
That's mental.
They've got over 280 different languages, 17,000 islands, like so many different people. And I mean, we're kind of used to that in South Africa. We've got all the diversity, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But there you just experience it on a whole new level. And we went and worked on, myself and my friend went and worked on a little permaculture farm in this rural remote village where basically no one spoke English. So it was all Google Translate. That was pretty cool. And there we were just farming the whole day, like in the permaculture gardens, and then in the afternoons we played soccer with the kids on the beach and stuff in Sumatra, West Sumatra. And that little village that we went to, we were actually the first surfers that had been into that village, because it wasn't on like the main travel routes or whatever, and there wasn't known waves in that area. So when we rocked up there, I think we spoke to the village chief, and he said there'd been something like only 20 foreigners or Western Europeans or basically non-Indonesians in that little town before. So when we went there, like, full on celebrities, all the kids running up to us.
Bro, that's nuts.
So that was really epic. And then we went from rural Indonesia straight into San Francisco in California, and that was
culture shock of note, I can imagine.
Intense, like from
that's a big difference.
Coconut trees and no concrete anywhere, just to these massive high-rise buildings and like taxis, and it was intense.
Yeah,
no, just
but it was a good experience. California.
How did you end up in? Go. What are you saying?
Yeah, California is also just beautiful on another level. We didn't surf as much. We were there we went to go trim on the bud farms.
Yeah.
Some dollar, which was good.
Nice.
We managed to pay for like 8 months of traveling around the world from 4 weeks of sitting on an arse trimming bud.
Jeez.
That's incredible.
This goes to show exchange rate, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was a good experience. And then we went to go and did a lot of hiking in the mountains there. Went to Yosemite National Park, and also like just the mountains there are just insane, the amount of rock, and special experience.
That's incredible, man. But how did you get to that certain village in Indonesia? Were you set out to go there, or did you just find it when you were that side?
Well, there's a thing called woofing, which is willing workers on organic farms. You might have heard about it. And there you basically do like a work exchange. So you put in 5 to 6 hours of work, and then they give you accommodation and food. And I'd been on this website and like looking at all the different, like there's lots of little different farms in Indonesia, little lodges that offer, or all around the world that offer this experience that you can go do the work exchange. And then the guy that we got into contact with, he didn't have a place listed because he didn't basically have anything. So we slept in a tent for 2 months on the edge of the Sumatran jungle, and the food that we ate was what all the villagers ate. Like, it was super epic. Everything's fresh produce. So like every day or every second day you go to the fresh market, and then all the fishermen bring all their fish, and then the local farmers bring all their produce from that week, and then you can buy it. They've also got a bit of like a bartering system going on, which is pretty cool. And then that evening you all go and they cook everything on the fire, and then they put down massive big banana leaves on the ground, and then you all sit around the banana leaf in a circle, and they put like a big pile of rice, big pile of fish, big pile of veggies, big pile of chili, and then you all just kind of
good every night
together on the banana leaves, sharing meals. Yeah, really special.
That's beautiful.
Sounds absolutely
but yeah,
awesome.
just reached out to them from the internet, like this, crazy.
Yeah.
Connect people all over the world.
So yeah, I see
That's so cool.
You've started a YouTube channel now, am I correct? Soon. It was.
Yeah.
When did you start that? How did that come about? Or yeah, let's talk about
that's my attempt. So I've just recently started that, and I'm also a breathwork coach and survival apnea specialist. So when I say breathwork coach, I do breathing, like conscious breathwork. So it's breathing to deal with stress and anxiety, which I do big corporate groups.
Wow.
And also do yoga and wellness breathing workshops and retreats. But my personal favorite is the surf survival and surf apnea, which is basically making you difficult to kill so that you can go and enjoy it hardcore.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. Well, not even hardcore surf. Anyone in the water, anyone who's surfing, or bodyboarding or any kind of water sport, it's super important to understand your human breath and understand your breathing capabilities. My YouTube channel, I just recently started because I've just created online courses, breathing courses. I created a course recently called the Breath of Life course, which is to help people breathe easy through this whole pandemic thing. So it's just basically breathing exercises to help strengthen the lungs and create an overall resilience of the lungs, deal with stress and anxiety, and also boost your immune system. But right now I'm working on my surf apnea course, which I'm super excited about because that's going to help a lot of people out in the water. Everyone's safe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got to understand the ocean. Like, it's so unpredictable. But if we can just get a bit more educated on that, it like changes the whole game of how we surf.
Exactly.
We do any water sports. Yeah.
I mean, any water sports, like you said. Like, I went for a surf the other day with my friend up to Betty's Bay, to a little secret spot just around the corner, and it was pretty solid. And like, we were standing on the rocks deciding whether we should paddle out, and I just decided, screw it, let's just go, let's paddle. And then we got caught with gnarly rip for like 30 minutes, just paddling, getting anywhere, and then the steps just start coming on your head, doof, doof, doof. And I'm just like, oh, thank goodness I've been practicing my breath holds. But I mean, a breath hold in surfing, unless you're like a proper big wave surfer and you're surfing super gnarly big waves, you're not going to experience a breath hold or a hold down of longer than 15 to 20 seconds. That's long. So if you guys like take a big breath in now, you'd easily be able to hold your breath for 20 seconds. But it's a different story when you're being absolutely beaten and pummeled around, and like,
and you're panicking.
It feels like there's a train that's just smashing you and you're panicking. So as soon as you start panicking, your mind goes, and what happens is your heart rate increases. As soon as your heart rate increases, your oxygen consumption rate increases. So you use up all the oxygen that you do have in your body, and then panic is what will kill you. So don't panic.
It's crazy how that's just in the mind. Like your capacity of your lungs, it'd be like you said, I could easily hold my breath now for up to 15 seconds plus.
A minute.
Yeah, way
like
more.
You're a healthy individual. You can hold your breath for a minute now. So in your body, all the oxygen that you breathe in. So when you breathe in, like now, that breath that you've just taken in has got 79% nitrogen and only 21% oxygen. So it's your body's your lungs' duty to extract that oxygen from that breath that you've taken in. But most of us, when we breathe, we're only breathing into our chest region. It's called thoracic breathing. And the thoracic region, or your chest region, has only got 30 to 40% of your breathing capacity. So when you breathe into your chest, you're only using 30 or 40% of your lungs capacity. So you're denying yourself so much more oxygen that you could be taking in. And simply just by learning how to breathe correctly, you can access more oxygen, and in doing so, access all the benefits that oxygen has. Energy, concentration. Like, your body can't survive without oxygen. We need three things. We need food, water, and oxygen. And then, like, most of us are all conscious about what we eat and what we drink, but very few of us bring any thought to how we breathe. So it's just about making that conscious shift to bringing consciousness back to your breath, and valuing that breath that you take in, and learning how to breathe properly. And then once you've learned how to breathe properly, you can use it in all different applications, like surfing, or in stressful environments, or so many applications.
So much benefits as well. But Daniel, I wanted to ask, would you mind taking us through a breath exercise?
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't matter how long it takes.
Yeah. So I'll give you a super easy breathing exercise, which is also super effective, and it's called box breathing. So it's quite a well-known breathing exercise. But box breathing is, so your body is, you can imagine your body like this. You've got two sides to your nervous system: your autonomic nervous system. You've got your parasympathetic nervous system, and your sympathetic nervous system. Your sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight nervous system. So when you're stressing, or when you're anxious, or when you've got like adrenaline pumping through your body, your heart rate will increase, your breathing rate will increase, your oxygen consumption rate will increase, and your mind goes crazy. You panic. That's sympathetic nervous system. You want to try and stay away from that. On the other side of the spectrum, you've got your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest nervous system. So when you're operating on that side, your metabolism slows down. Your metabolism increases, your digestion increases, your heart rate will slow down, your breathing will slow down, so your oxygen consumption rate in your body is better.
So interesting.
You don't release hormones. So when you're in the sympathetic nervous system, because of your breathing, short, shallow breathing, you'll start to release stress hormones like cortisol and norepinephrine, which will just keep your heart pumping faster and you're breathing faster. And when you're breathing fast, like because you're so nervous and you panicked, what you're actually doing is you're not giving your lungs the chance to extract that oxygen, because you're breathing in, but you're breathing out so quickly. So your lungs don't have any chance to take that oxygen in. So that people get like stuck in this little nervous cycle of panic and shallow breathing into our chest, where you want to try and move away into the parasympathetic nervous system and activate the parasympathetic nervous system just by slowing down your breathing. So when you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, you'll stop the release of any stress hormones like the cortisol and the norepinephrine. And you can also start to stimulate the good feeling hormones like the dopamine, the serotonin, perhaps even the oxytocin. So those hormones that you feel when you go for a surf, or when you eat a chocolate, or have a beer, or kiss your partner or your girlfriend, whatever, like the good feeling hormones. You can access all of that through the breath as well, which is really epic. So the technique which I can teach you now is one of the greatest breathing techniques that you can use to regulate your system. So if you're operating in the sympathetic nervous system, you're starting to feel panicky or stressed about something, you do the box breathing technique, and it will automatically take you from the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system. So your heart rate will slow down, breathing rate will slow down, you won't have any more stress hormones that get released. And the kind of people that use it are like every day are your first line emergency responders, your paramedics, firefighters, any like endurance athletes, or lots of all the adrenaline athletes, sports athletes, like like base jumpers and big wave surfers and UFC fighters. If their heart is pumping and they want to calm down, they use the box breathing technique.
Like the free divers, guys on our show last week.
calm. Yeah, check those. That was super epic, those guys. Like some other kind of breath control.
Yeah.
So box breathing technique, super simple. Like a square. So 4 seconds is usually a good time. So you breathe in for 4 seconds, in through your nose. 2, 3, 4. You hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 4 seconds through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold at the bottom for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you breathe in. So it's basically breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, and then repeat. So in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, in for 4. And you just keep doing that cycle. If 4 seconds is really easy, you can take it to 5 seconds. So in for 5, hold for 5, out for 5, hold for 5. You can take that to 6 seconds, all the way up to 10 seconds, 15 seconds. If you can start doing that, then you're not just working on calming your body and moving into the parasympathetic nervous system. You're actually working on increasing your lung expansion and like lung retention, and that works on the overall strength and resilience of your lungs, because you're bringing more control to your breath. Like if you can do a box breath of 10 seconds, so in for 10, hold for 10, out for 10, and hold for 10. Repeat that, and you've got some solid, strong lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the higher you go, the higher you can hold. That's like the strength of your lungs. Or does it become more beneficial? So would it be more beneficial of me holding for 5 than for 3 seconds, or?
It is, yes. Up to a point, if you start going over 10 seconds, then there's other things that come into play, like the buildup of carbon dioxide and things in your blood, which isn't a bad thing. Like what most people, like if you had to hold your breath now, take a big breath in now and hold your breath. And when you're holding your breath, you're experiencing all kinds of different things in your body, and you get that urge to breathe. So most people think that urge to breathe is from a lack of oxygen. There's still plenty of oxygen in your body. It's just simply from the buildup of carbon dioxide in your body, which is making you want to breathe. And if you didn't have that buildup of carbon dioxide in your body, you wouldn't get that urge to breathe. And so your body wouldn't breathe. And then eventually you would pass out from the lack of oxygen. So the carbon dioxide is actually a very important gas in the whole breathing process. Most of us in school in biology, we learned that carbon dioxide is like a toxic gas that our body releases, that we don't use it for anything. A whole bunch of rubbish. It's super important. So if you go above the 10-second retentions in the box breathing technique, then you'll start to get the buildup of CO2, but it's not a problem. But the most important thing for the box breathing technique is just to calm your mind. 4 or 5 seconds is a good time. So in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and repeat that for 5 minutes. And I promise you, like, it will almost instantaneously just calm you down and make you feel completely relaxed. It's super epic. Like sometimes when I go and the surf's absolutely pumping, I'm like, fuck, should I paddle out in this mouth? 5 minute box breathing technique, feeling super centered, super calm, ready to charge.
Do you do that in the water as well, or is it just before?
No, in the water I do different.
Like if you're sitting at the back.
Yeah.
What did you normally do in the water?
So I just try and do deep breathing into my, so I explained that. So basically when you breathe in, you've got 60% of your breathing capacity here in your belly area, belly breathing. It's called diaphragmatic breathing. So most of us don't breathe into our belly regions. So all of us are breathing into our chest region. So basically, if you breathe into that belly region, you get access to a lot more oxygen than what you usually would. So if you're surfing or doing any kind of physical activity, that's super important, because oxygen is life, oxygen is energy. Unless you've had something big to eat that morning or lots of carbs, which your body then converts into energy, it does the same thing with oxygen, and that oxygen that you breathe in gets directly turned into energy through the process of cellular respiration. And that is what your cells and your muscles need in order to actually work. So if you're not breathing properly, you're not going to be able to paddle fast enough. You're going to get the buildup of lactic acid because of the buildup of carbon dioxide. So just deep belly breathing while you're out there on the back line, nice and calm, slow breath, breathing in and out nice and slowly, just so that your lungs get the chance to actually extract the oxygen. Because if it's there's no chance for your lungs to extract oxygen there. In and out, nice and deep, nice and slow. What else can I answer?
I was gonna ask as well. You've been a surf guide also in Indonesia, right?
Yeah.
And you surf guided two-time world champion Gabe Medina and some of the Ripkill team. How was that experience for you?
That was crazy. That was super cool.
Can imagine.
Yeah, so none of us at the lodge knew that he was coming, or that the Ripkill guys were coming. So that area of South Sumatra is called Krui. It's on the main surf map, but it's not many people go there yet. It's going to change now because there's a little airport there. But the wave selection and variety is absolutely insane. So it's got some of the best waves in the world, like working on all different conditions. So if the wind's blowing for some of the waves, you just go around the corner and then it's like perfect. Short,
and the water's warm there.
And the water's warm, 29 degrees Celsius. It's like cooking.
What?
Yeah, 29 degrees.
Damn.
Crazy. So I'd luckily been in that area for working at that lodge for about 2.5 months before we get the news that Medina's coming to stay at the lodge, because he came to surf. There's the Karamas Pro in Bali. So they had a little bit of off time before that comp, so they just came to explore Sumatra and do some like a Ripkill search kind of vibe filming. So they came there, and I'm glad I had at least 2 months to figure out all the breaks and like figure out when it worked, when's good to go, when's not good to go. Because I did definitely feel a bit of pressure trying to get Mr. Medina and Matt Wilkinson and those guys like the best waves that I could, and they scored. They actually just released the edit now. It's called Merdeka. They released it 2 weeks ago of their time.
Oh damn!
Yeah, it's super epic.
So that was back in 2017.
No, that was last year, bro.
Oh, last year. Yes,
most of last year there.
Yeah, the film. It only came out now. It's mental.
Yeah, take a lot of time to edit.
Come on.
Medina as a surfer is a ripper on another level. It's just like there's this one wave called Honey Smacks, which is like more of a bodyboarding wave, super hollow and like gnarly. Left and on the takeoff, it just jacks up and gets super hollow, and then it's barrel section, and it opens up nicely for a bit more of a wall, and then there's a little inside barrel section as well.
Oh my god!
For most guys, like just to make the drop off on a stand up and get barreled and come out, that's like a feat in itself. That's good, well done. And he does it. He takes off, drops in, gets absolutely shacked, comes out, hits the lip, aerial 360, back onto the face, sets up for the section, throws over him, one big turn, two big turn, like it's insane.
It's crazy.
You think he like surfs there for like 5 years when he first pops up on that wave?
Yeah, it's like he's been studying the wave for years and years, but he's just like he's got it waxed.
Jeez.
One time.
That's really crazy. So we're around 9 minutes away from Zoom cutting us off. So is there any last points you want to bring up? Anything you want to shout out? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Basically, if I had to give a message from my side, it would be two things. First of all, to every single person out there, because the one thing that unifies or brings us all together and which bonds all of us is our human breath. It doesn't matter if you black, white, male, female, Muslim, Christian, Hindu, whatever. If you believe in this or that, it's irrelevant. You breathe. So it's just to bring consciousness back to your breath and value your breath by changing the way that you breathe. And I'll give you the link as well to my breathing course and the free breathing.
It'll be in the description.
Awesome. By bringing consciousness to the way you breathe, you can bring so many amazing changes into your life, from like just better energy levels. You start to sleep better. Like I've helped people with insomnia and they can't sleep at all, and I just teach them how to step into that parasympathetic nervous system and just completely calm their bodies and all of them can sleep, which is amazing, just from changing the way they breathe. Like if you're hitting a plateau in your exercise regime or your training regime, change the way you breathe, bring consciousness to your breath, learn about your breath, and you can change your entire life. So for everyone out there, just bring consciousness to the way that you breathe. Breathe in and out through your nose as much as possible. Just by breathing in and out through your nose, you get 20% more oxygen by breathing in through your nose and through your mouth.
Sure.
So just by breathing in and out through your nose, you're already going to start getting more oxygen. And then breathe nice and deep and nice and slow. And from a surfing point of view, like this is my, I'll try to bring it a little closer for you guys to see. Basically says
so cool.
Sustainably stoked.
No,
so that's what I'm all about, is just staying sustainably stoked. And if you are going to go into the ocean or whatever practice that you do in the outdoors, try and do it in a eco-conscious and eco-friendly way. So if you go to the beach and you're taking stuff with you, don't leave your rubbish on the beach. Sunblock, there's lots of our sunblocks have got harmful chemicals in them for the ocean and for you. So go and look for like good eco-friendly sunblocks or sunscreens, your waxes as well, your surf wax. The wax isn't the best thing, it's also petrochemical based. So try and find healthy and more sustainable alternatives for your waxes, and just bring a consciousness, eco-consciousness and a sustainable mindset to the practice of surfing, and make those small little changes, and all those small little changes will eventually add up. And then if you want to board,
check him out.
We make some really good boards. We can make absolutely any shape. We've got CNC machines, so we got boards from other shapers that you like or other designs that you like. We just put the dimensions in, the machine prints it.
That's awesome.
Got one of the top hand shapers in the country who gives it a little finish. We glass it, and then the eco boards are also about 35% lighter than a normal PU board. And because they're lighter, we can glass them thicker with a bio-resin. It's an eco-resin. And because we glass them thicker, they're like super strong. So they're lighter and they're stronger, so they last longer, which is great.
That is mental.
That's awesome.
Because some of these boards snap way too fast.
The PU boards, it's got, and that in itself is not sustainable, because if you keep on going through surfboards every 2-3 years, it's like, doesn't make sense. Rather put an extra 1,000 Rand or 2,000 Rand onto the price of what you would spend on a board, and that board will last for 10 years. And then these boards you can recycle. The PU boards you can't recycle. So,
that's definitely good.
Wow.
But
Surf.4.Earth, you guys are more than just surfing, eh? You also do some outreach programs. I know we might be cut out, but go for it. What's that about?
So I get involved in a whole bunch of outreach programs. The one that I'm most involved with is Surf for Life. I only found out about them after I started Surf for Earth, so it's pretty cool. And Surf for Life is based here in the Strand, and they do surf outreach programs for kids from underprivileged communities. They are based, I can't remember where the kids come from. I think it's from like the Elgin Valley. And then there's an orphanage there, and a whole bunch of kids come through in the bus. And it's usually, we try to do it once every week in summer. They come down for 2 hours of basically surf therapy, and we just get them in the ocean, and seeing the smiles on their faces is so awesome. Like sharing that stoke. And then there's another one I get involved with in Cape Town and Hout Bay called Sentinel Ocean Alliance. Frank Solomon started that. Also really cool, similar thing. And Cape Town's got so many awesome surf outreach programs. There's 9 Miles, Sentinel Ocean Alliance, Waves for Change. There's so many. I am Water Awareness, and a lot of the groups I'm involved with a lot of them, but most of them all do the surf outreach and surf therapy programs, and then they also do beach cleanups, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm busy working on a project now to try and get all of the different individual associations and initiatives to collaborate. And we're going to create quite a cool beach cleanup program that's incentivized. So the person who goes to the most beach cleanups throughout the year could potentially win a custom-made eco board kind of thing. So it gives people a bit of incentive to go and pick up some trash and meet some other trash heroes, or just do your part for the ocean, and there can be a prize for that.
That's
awesome.
incredible.
Yeah.
Well, as we're ending off this episode, I firstly just want to give a shout out to Daniel for coming on, but also we like to give a shout out to our comments. So M-Bars, the great rapper, we in your comments. So thank you for always putting it there. But Daniel, I got some speed questions for you to end off this incredible episode. This is like life changing. So here's the speed questions for you. Pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Longboard or shortboard?
Shortboard all the way.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Winter or summer?
Ooh, summer all the way, summer baby. But I need summer with winter swell pumping.
Oh yes, that's the thing.
Yeah,
and if you have to only surf this wave, G-Land or pipeline?
Ooh, G-Land.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Daniel, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, all the links to his website, his Instagram, YouTube channel will be in the description. Go send him some love, subscribe to his channel, check out his courses. It'll literally change your life. It's mental. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
God bless, guys. Keep well.
You too, man.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Like and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend.